Hey there, everybody. New studio, new intro. I'm just here to remind you guys before you listen to today's episode, make sure you follow the show and subscribe wherever you listen. If you watch the show on YouTube, make sure you subscribe there, you comment, you like, and you share. Also, follow my social media, all of it, both Instagrams, my Twitter, follow it all. Your life is to be consumed by my life. Tell everybody that you know about me. Start conversations with the fact that the Smoking Simian is your favorite podcast. Bombard everyone that you know and love with the Smoking Simian. Send them links day in and day out of my show, of the episodes, of my posts. Get thrown out of your house because the only thing that you care about is the Smoking Simian. Do it. Enjoy today's episode. Bye-bye. Good morning and happy Memorial Day to all of you patriots out there. I hope you guys made the right choice and have decided that on your crowded, hot, muggy, extremely long traffic jam on your way to the beach with your car filled with delicious and death-inducing snacks filled to the brim. Filled as if the eating was going out of style. Filled so much so that the car is so packedly densed with not only body, human body, but food and coolers and nice cold beers. Like I have here. For once, that drink pause was not coffee. I'm having a nice beer for you guys for Memorial Day, because I know y'all will be doing that. But like I was saying, the car is so densely packed with all of these things, plus beach toys, right? You got to bring toys, you got to bring a Frisbee. There's nothing like being drunk, throwing a Frisbee on the beach on Memorial Day. On any day, really, but on Memorial Day, oh man. There's not much that beats that. Not much that can take away from the fun of being able to go to the beach and have your food pecked at by seagulls and little kids kick dirt all over your blanket, and then 3 of your friends get sloppily drunk and die in the sun, and you gotta drag them and you gotta rub them down with aloe, right? Nothing compares to doing that on Memorial Day. Very good. Right? Let's hope it is Memorial Day. Ha! Imagine all that shit. Said all that shit, not even Memorial Day. No, yeah, because the Derby was yesterday, which I didn't watch. The Derby is not the Derby, Indianapolis 500. Another pointless event that is very niche. Either you like F1 racing or you live in Indiana, right? That's kind of what it is. If you like racing, if you like cars, you'll go or you'll watch. You'll probably follow the season. And if you live in Indiana, that's like the biggest event, right? The Indianapolis 500. So, very niche, right? There's no reason for me, because I don't care about cars, and I mean, Caroline's from Indiana, and I've been there, and I actually really like Indianapolis. Indianapolis is a very nice city. If you've never been, I would recommend it. A very nice place. So, I mean, I guess I got a tie. I have a reason. See, unlike you other people, I have a reason now. Now I have cooked up a reason for myself to care about the Indy 500. But it's another one of those events like the Kentucky Derby, like the World Cup, that just get people, the Olympics, right? I've spoken about this before. The Olympics. People will watch, the Swedish women's rifle team finals, just because. Just because the crowd knows what's going on and the announcers are amping it up. You don't really realize that it's a bunch of ladies shooting air guns, right? Guns that, right? I'm pretty sure that's what it is, right? They don't shoot projectiles in the Olympics. Except for that one year in Munich, right? Or the one before that in Germany as well. It's crazy. The Olympics are just not allowed ever. Well, not allowed. The Olympics govern it. They make the decisions. They would never go back to Germany because of those two fucking events. But what was I saying? Yeah, it's one of those times to like people all around the world just get involved. They get involved. People want to know about the Super Bowl. Even the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is big outside of America. I had cousins in Italy asking me, Super Bowl, yeah, I love this event. I love the KFC. Yeah. Just, they say they watch the Super Bowl when it's on. They love it. They love American football because they know that those guys are going to be fucked up afterwards. I mean, you can't underestimate our ability as a country, this is a good thing, to market something to death to the point where people who would normally not care about it are watching it, like me. I have no reason to care about the Kentucky Derby, but for whatever reason, I'm completely behind it. I don't know why. Specifically the Derby, right? Like I guess maybe because I had the tradition at Casarinos for the time I was there. We used to put money on a horse and watch and whatever, and it was a big thing. And since then, now I just want to have a horse every year. And I want to go, I want to go to it. But I'm finding another thing that's influencing my concern with sports that nobody really cares for is my job working at the sports book in Mohegan Sun. We have to pretty much prey on the fact that there's a big sporting event that's happening, and hope that it's kind of a big deal. Like this past weekend, they had the Champions League soccer game, and it was like 3:00 in the afternoon, and I was fortunate enough to be working that shift, and it was busy. And it was an afternoon shift, and people came in, and they did whatever. The UFC fights, big boxing matches, those always have a good turnout. The Celtics on Friday, good turnout. Right now it's Saturday. It's actually Saturday night, guys. I got Saturday night off. It's Saturday night for me, so I don't know how the Celtics did on Sunday. I'm probably crushing some of you guys even mentioning it. Maybe not. Maybe they won. I have no fucking clue. But either way, I'm sure that was a good turnout because I'm working on Sunday. This is a very weird, it's kind of hard to talk about it because it's fucking, the days are all, I don't know, I feel like I'm in some weird Matrix movie. The day before, after, and because this is coming out later. But anyway, who gives a fuck? You guys know what I'm talking about. But when you know that there's an event, you're like, yeah, this is going to be fucking good. Like I'm working, or I worked. See, weird. Very weird. I haven't worked it yet, but I gotta pretend like I fucking worked for you guys. On Sunday, the Indy 500 is in the daytime, and then at night is the Celtics game. So you almost start to care. Like when the Masters came around, I never cared about golf that much. I liked watching the Ryder Cup the one time I watched it. I never really cared about golf that much. And then the Masters came on, and I'm like, wow, holy shit. Look at this. Wow, that guy did that. And I'm just encased in golf now. Between golf and, what was the other one I said today? Golf and soccer. Between those two, I'm like, it's two sports that people, in this country, soccer, people really don't care about it. We could be fucking honest. People don't care about it, not on the same wavelength as other countries. Because we have crazy, murderous sports like fucking football. Football is crazy. American football is just guys running into each other, smashing the fuck out of each other. We found a way to make, some game where bodily injury is just commonplace. A game, though. Like, there's fighting, right? There's fighting sports. They've evolved. You know, like wrestling in the ancient Olympics, you could punch and you could strike, and it could be last man standing, you know, like crazy shit like that. And then now wrestling, but still, wrestling is still, you know, it's a combat. It's a combat sport. It's a fucking martial art. So there's fighting, and then there's games, right? There's games or sports, but, you know, it's a game-oriented sport. Fighting, there's combat sports, right? And then there's hybrids kind of in the middle of that. I guess you could say rugby, right? Rugby, hockey, lacrosse, right? Kind of hybrids. There's contact. But football is the top choice of those, right? The hybrid sport where it's a game that you can fucking mash each other with and give each other serious brain damage. That's nice. Pay them a lot of money, too. I've always said, if you want to get paid like a football player as a surgeon, you got to start putting asses in seats. If you can sell out Madison Square Garden on a double bypass, then you deserve money like fucking Elton John, right? Ever since moving, I've gotten a taste for beer. Not that I really get hammered, you know, I don't really drink, but I had them in the refrigerator over there. UFO blueberries, the ale. When I first started drinking them, I was like, these kind of suck. And now that I'm like, I've had them for, I don't know, a month. And I still have a few left, but yeah, they're not bad. But, what the fuck was I even talking about? Sports, combat sports, hybrid sports, and games. Oh, me caring about, you know, weird shit. Like, we don't care about soccer here, but I was watching the fuck out of the Champions League and the Premier League. When Manchester City beat... Oh, I don't even know. Well, either way, even that game, people were... And that was on a Sunday, early afternoon. It was like 11 o'clock. And people were in there watching that shit. I was watching that shit. And then on Saturday, the Champions League. I watched both of them. I was like, damn, I see why these people go crazy. At the end of the Champions League game, Liverpool was down. Liverpool lost to Real Madrid. And it was 1-0 and 1-0, sorry. And they, Liverpool for like the last, I feel like it was not right after, but I feel like it was after Real Madrid scored. From then on, they were just fucking attacking the whole time. It was like 30 minutes of straight Liverpool attacks. And the Real Madrid goalie was a fucking beast. Crazy. The same thing happened when the Masters was on. People were coming in to watch the Masters, so I'm like, all right, let's see what this is all fucking about. And I was like, damn. So the sports book has been really bringing me back to sports. But not the ones anyone cares about. Like the Celtics one, I barely watched it. I mean, it was busy, so it was tougher to watch. It was busier, so it was a little tougher to catch. But I really didn't care. But we'll see. If I'm still there for football, I can imagine me getting back into football, maybe going back into a fantasy league. We'll see. That'll be, that's a while from now. Did you guys have, yeah, I'm asking you like you give me an answer. I'm sure you guys have seen the new, there's a football league now, right? The USFL. Is that what it is? The USFL. Let's see if that's a legit thing. United States USFL. Come on. United States Football League. Interesting. So it was a thing, and then it's coming back. Competitor. Wow. Holy shit. So it was a competitor to the NFL. Yeah, I've been seeing it, but nobody cares about it, right? Maybe that'll be my new thing. I'll watch the USFL. The USFL. The NFL is pretty much a monopoly, right? Except for this new league now. But before that, the NFL was just like a straight monopoly. And it's kind of like the UFC in a sense. I know the USFL. It said something about it played for 3 seasons in the 80s, and then it got kicked off, which is probably what's going to happen again, right? Probably what's going to happen again. They're not going to be able to market things. They don't have the machine behind them, and all those guys will be without jobs. They'll have to go do whatever they graduated college with, right? A guy who thought he was going to be a professional football player got a taste of it for 2 years, was getting a little bit of change, not like the NFL, but was getting a little bit of money, and they said, hey, sorry, we're closing you down, the NFL. We had our championship game yesterday. It was Tuesday, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Nobody watched it. It was the biggest flop in sports history. Sorry, guys. The league's over. The league's done. You know how it's like $3 million for a 30-second commercial in the Super Bowl? It was about $30. That's what ours was trending at prime time. 6 o'clock. The 6 o'clock commercial, midway through the event, nobody even saw it. It was for Lysol. No one noticed. No one noticed, and it was a good commercial. It took us a while to pick which one we were going to do. They gave us the most money. $60. It was double the average, which is why it skewed. Actually, the average, it was more than double the average because that skewed it to 30. Crazy. So it looks like you're going to have to go be an accountant. Sorry. You're going to have to go work in an HR department, Jamal. Sorry. I know you run a 4-2-40 and you're a fucking freak. And I know you don't belong in a fucking post office boardroom. But this is it. There's no... I mean, go ahead and play in a field and hope that, Bill Belichick sees you and he can sign you and you'll be fine. Do that. Run drills in a field until one of the other coaches finds you and see how long it is before you, kill yourself, basically. That's the future of the USFL. But what else? Oh, before we get into the fun stuff, right? I like to, now that I have all this time on these episodes, I feel like I can do I feel like this is the difference between doing a tight 5 and doing like a really long set in comedy. Because sometimes when I watch my favorite comedians, I forget that they have a whole hour to get laughs. They have a whole hour to get laughs, to get a point across. They have a whole hour to do whatever the fuck they want to do. Right? But when you do a spot or when you do a set, it's more, you got to be like super directed with it. Like one objective, and that's to get laughs. Right? The one objective is to get as many laughs as you can in 5 fucking minutes. Bang, 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 as many as you can. So if you compared this to the 30-minute solo episodes, I feel like I'm able to break it down in different ways. I talk about what's going on with me. I can talk about what's going on with the show. Then I talk about what's going on in the world. And then I'm done talking usually. But regardless, with the show, before we get to the fun stuff, that was my point. The fun stuff being all the kooky and wacky and crazy zoobity zap zooby news that we love to talk about. For the show, those of you that follow me on social media and on, subscribe to me on YouTube and all this shit, I am going to, we're going to start dropping new clips from old episodes. New clips from old episodes every week. It looks like I'm going to have around 100 of those. So for as many weeks as I have of that. There's going to be a new one every week. I'm probably going to do it on Wednesdays. And then we're not going to get behind on the videos for the new episodes, so there'll be 2 of those every week. So, motherfuckers, there's going to be a lot more of the Smoking Simian. A lot more. After episode 200, I was like, this is a good milestone, this is good, but let's see what we can do here. I watched some, as fun as it is to make fun of this guy, I've watched some Gary V. Do you know that you have so much fucking time? I can't do his voice, but he's great. I mean, he's great. He's an animal. He obviously knows what the fuck he's talking about. Great to make fun of, but his big thing is obviously content, putting out a ton of content, yada yada yada. I'm a comedian, guys. I'm a comedian, and but I'm also a podcast host. And because I'm a podcast host, I'm also my content person, right? Because with all this, he makes the point where it's like, put as much content out across as many platforms as you can, and it's hard to deny that, because that's just work, right? That's just work. That's just doing the work, sitting down, making clips. Like, all my episodes are an hour long. Right? And I have 200 episodes. Some of them are 2 hours long. Some of them are between an hour and a half and 2. Some of them are an hour. Some of them are a half hour. I have hours and hours and hours and hours worth of content that I kind of neglected for a while. I was just like, I'm going to put the videos out. I'll do clips. I lost, I wasn't, I don't want to say I wasn't serious about the clips, but I would, at first I was like, yeah, I'll do 2 a week, and I started to slack off. I'm like, I don't need to do them, but I need to do them. You know what I'm saying? I need to do them. And what's going to be happening on Wednesdays, because the old clips will be coming out on Wednesdays, which I think is going to be cool. I'm going to be posting those, and I'm going to be tagging the people who are in them, if it was a guest episode that week. They're all going to be randomly set to go. I'm going to have the corresponding date in my calendar, and I'll be able to make a specialized, probably Instagram story or something, for just to let you know that your clip is out that week. And, just get some more eyes on this motherfucker. Get some more eyes on this bad Larry. But we're at 201. Imagine that. 100 felt like it was so... When was 100? 100 was in... I feel like it was deeper in the summer because it was hot. Episode 100, whenever that came out. It sucks. I don't have that. I could have chopped that up a little bit more. But I feel like we got to 200 quicker. It was definitely because of the marathon. Let me see. Where are we at? I'm sorry, guys. Definitely because of the holiday marathon. I wonder if I'll be able to do that again. 100 was 11 months ago. 11 months ago. Yeah, so in June. Yeah, I thought it was June anyway. So, yeah, we got to 200 quicker, which I guess is a good thing. It's a lot of content. It's a lot of stuff. But there's always more to be done, guys. There's always more to be done. We got the disease of more. It's not always a disease. I don't look at it in this particular case as a disease of more. I think of it as something necessary to kind of propel this motherfucker just in another direction. Get some more eyes back on it, and get the old guests involved, and have some of them back on while reaching out to other people that I may have reached out to and whatever else. Then they get the message, this motherfucker's serious. He's about business. He's about business. But I was thinking about it the other day, man. My old studio, oh, man. I think about that bitch all the time. Everything was perfect. Because now, like I said, I live in this, small little room, and I still have a good setup, good podcast setup, but there's more moving parts. There's shit out in the open There's stuff hanging around. I don't have, like, you guys can't see my poster behind me. There's a bunch of particulars that I wanted to have. I like having the table and the setup like that. Like, now we're kind of on couches, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? Which is fine. I don't mean, I said we're on couches. I haven't had anybody here since I got the couch or the futon. But anyway, that setup was perfect. It was perfect. And I'm excited in the future to see how even easier it'll be for my setup to take place. So that's what's happening with the show. Oh, another thing. So, like I said, there will now be on YouTube, there'll be 5 posts every week, or 5 videos every week. 2 of the podcast, or 2 new podcasts every week, obviously Monday and Thursday. And then Tuesday and Friday will be the days of the clips, new clips. Wednesdays will be the old clips. And then on Saturdays, I've been meaning to start a YouTube short series, which is what I think I'm going to start doing. YouTube short series with, it's going to be me critiquing, well, not critiquing, I don't want to say critiquing. Forgive me for saying that, everybody. Literally, forgive me for saying critiquing, because I don't want to make it sound like I'm some fucking guru. I've only been in this comedy game for collectively maybe a year and a few months. So what I meant to say was I'm going to be doing a breakdown of a particular set for a comedian. I will be speaking, sort of generally and how they, their stage presence, how they convey their ideas, good writing, who focuses on what more, what does this particular comedian do, and I'll pretty much say, hey, this is the set that I watched for you guys. It'll be a minute. I'm going to try and do it every week. It'll be on Saturdays. It'll be a quick, like I said, quick minute video, minute break, because I do it anyway, guys. I do it anyway. I don't know if I spoke about it on here before, but I'll watch comedy and I'll write shit down. I'll break it down. I'll take notes on it. Everything. What in particular does this comedian do, or what do they excel at? What does this one do? Who's more diverse? Who can do this? Is this person a specialist and is really, really good at this particular thing and really dove deep into that, and that kind of overtakes his or her whole game, and they don't need to be, say, animated, or they don't need to improvise, or they don't do all this shit because they have very tight writing and perfect diction. That's an example, right? So, and again, and at that high level, when you're on national television and you can watch them doing their thing, I'm sure whatever that set is pretty indicative of their best work. Even if there's multiple ones, even more so if there's multiple ones, because they've done it before, except for Brendan Shaw, right? Because, I don't know, I haven't heard any of his stand-up ever, but people shit on him, and he's got 2, right? He's got 2 of them. Pretty crazy. But, nonetheless, I've been meaning to do a YouTube short series. I think that'll be a fun one, especially since it's something I already do. I am a comedian. I'm trying to be fucking funny, But I already spend time breaking down sets by comedians. So maybe I have some good shit to say. Maybe I don't. That's the same way I feel about this show. And I do that like a motherfucker. And there's people that actually listen sometimes. So that's what's coming. So you will have 6 days of smoking Simian. 6 days, and of course on the 7th day, I rest. There's a couple other things that I was thinking of doing with social media. I've been flirting with the idea of doing live streaming events. YouTube, I feel like, are bigger ones, like do a live stream of something in particular. And then there's doing, like covering an event. But what was the other one I was thinking of? Doing a live podcast, which I spoke about for fucking ever. I just got to get me and a couple other people comfortable enough to go live and do it. And, it is weird because I don't have like a following to where people are going to tune in live, even if I market it and do all that stuff. I don't know. I don't know how it'll be. And I'd rather just record it, which I probably can. I'd rather just record it and have it, out there, which actually I think YouTube does. But if I was going to do a live on YouTube, I want it to be long form. I want it to be a big thing. But Instagram Live, I'm thinking of doing a quick, like IG Live before the podcast. Just before the podcast. Quick little something to wet the palate, mine, you know what I'm saying? Get my mojo going. Maybe you guys can drop some shit in the comments of a live. I've never done the lives, so there's that. But yeah, I'm trying to do the content game a little better, guys. I'm trying to add more stuff, like add more freaking value. See, I can't do it. It doesn't sound as good. I sound like a little fucking baby. Value? No, I don't know. Fuck it. But I am. That's what we're trying to do. And moving on to the fun stuff. Boy, do we have some fun stuff. If you haven't already made it to your unhealthily fucking crowded beach where people are so close you can smell the fucking what they ate this morning in their breath. Hickory smoked sausages in their fucking teeth, and you can see it because you're so goddamn close. Your noses are touching. That's how close you are right now, or are soon to be on the beach with all these people on this hot, murderous day. Drunk, too. You guys will be drunk, falling on each other, sloppy. Happy Memorial Day. This is what it's all about. But if you're not there yet, we do have some fun things, and we always go Roca News. Always go Roca News. Shout out Roca News all the time. Ride the news on Instagram. They have the best shit. They have the best shit, the best... they have not only the best headlines, but their Instagram is perfect at getting the gist of what the fucking story is right out to you. The truth, too. The truth. Ride the news. Roca News. Winnie the Killer. Here's a new movie. Okay? Here's a new movie about Winnie the Pooh. And if you didn't know, Winnie the Pooh isn't owned by Disney anymore. Disney has been in my radar for months. And like I said, guys, they are taking a beating. Disney's they're losing out because this movie right here, when I tell you about this movie is a winner. It is a winner, and Disney is kicking themselves for not keeping the trademark, keeping the Winnie the Pooh, and investing the money and putting something like this together. Because what this is, I don't know what company's making this movie. We can dive in a little bit more after I read this little summary of it. Little synopsis of this phenomenal fucking film. It, if this was done by Disney themselves, I mean, pack up any award that you were going to give anybody else. Just give them all, best fucking European film, best foreign film. You can give it to this because it is the premise. Just the premise, guys. And I am a fan of art. I like to think that I have decent taste when it comes to quality of art, quality of artistic merit within the artist and the creation itself. So knowing that, just know that when I give you this recommendation, I do not mean it to be, facetious or insincere. This is the honest. Listen to this. I can't wait for this. An upcoming horror movie, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. is one of the first Winnie the Pooh adaptations since Disney lost the brand's copyright. The director said Pooh and Piglet are the main villains of the film. They're the villains? What a twist. Pooh and Piglet. Piglet, that little pink bitch that he hangs around with, right? A bear and a pig, a big yellow bear walking around. Oh, Bubba. He's going to walk around and murder motherfuckers. Now, oh, Bubba. Slice, chop your fucking head off. Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. Great fucking idea, guys. So, they're the main villains of the film, which features them going on a rampage after Christopher Robin leaves for college without giving them any food. Okay, this is starting to sound a lot like the... I think this is going to be a documentary on what happened in Texas recently. Right? This is going to be a... this is Winnie the Pooh lightening up the situation of a madman killing a bunch of kids. I mean, if Disney went ahead and did this, I mean, come on, guys. Christopher Robin leaves her college without giving them any food. Disney's copyright for Pooh expired on January 1st. Meaning anyone can make Pooh-themed content so long as it doesn't use Disney's specific interpretation of Pooh and Friends. The film's release date hasn't been set. Wow, so anybody can make Winnie the Pooh stuff now. There's going to be some crazy shit. That's probably not even that bad compared to what's coming. Oh my goodness, Winnie the Pooh porns. There's going to be... people are going to wear Winnie the Pooh masks when they're robbing stores. They're going to make their own. There's going to be Winnie the Pooh, propaganda cartoons. Crazy There's going to be... it said the depiction, right? You can use the names, as long as it doesn't use interpretation of Pooh and Friends. So it can't be... Wow. Okay, so it can't be anything... They can't all be friends. They can't... They should make... I have an idea for one. I think here's a good idea. Eeyore has finally had enough. Right? Eeyore is at the end of his rope. He works at a plant day and night. All of his friends do better than him. Pooh is out there fucking drowning in honey. Piglet, he's a pimp, a good one, a well-connected pimp. Piglet is pimpin'. He is... People don't fuck with him. If you see him, he's either getting too much money or, something's going down. Somebody's getting killed. That's the only time Piglet is around. And he's doing great. He's doing great. He's not in any danger in any of the movie. He's not in any danger of getting caught. He's raking it in, and he's banging them by the 2s and 3s. Piglet is number one. And he's trying to help his buddy Eeyore, come back to life. Bring him to life. And Tigger is now a woman, right? Tigger is transgender, and her name is Tigress, actually. And she is she's actually the governor of California. Yeah, Tigress is the governor of California. So again, all his friends are doing way better. And he's had enough. And Piglet is trying his best to bring him back to life, and it's barely working. Nothing makes Eeyore happy anymore. And finally, he kills himself. Eeyore finally kills himself. Right? Wasn't that his whole character in the show? Wasn't his whole spiel in that show just a miserable, depraved being that had no joy in his life, never had a reason to be happy, for the most part, right? There was probably a couple episodes. Oh well, come on, Eeyore, we're gonna have let you have a good day, and they bring him to the pharmacy, and he gets some Prozac, right? And Eeyore's like, ha, the magic beans. I feel a lot better now. I have my tail. This is great. Whoop-de-doo. And then 3 days later, there's no more Prozac. He's taking them all, and he's holding a fifth of Jack Daniels, just rubbing a straight razor against his beard, where his beard would be, against his 5 o'clock shot. But in this movie, you see all that. You see it. It's like the Joker. You see the progression. You see the progression of Eeyore and what goes on in his life and what brought him to be such a miserable fuck. And it ends with him. He actually falls in love and gets to have sex with Tigress. And it was a big scandal. And Tigress had to, it was in the news, and she had to, pay people off and get the news to, swindle. It's kind of like real life still. It's a fictional movie, but there's real life parallels, clearly. And she, she's got to pay people off and make sure, and let some other guys hit. And she ends up fine, right? She gets reelected for the next season, and it's just like life never changed for Eeyore. Life never changed. He can't get the magic beans anymore. He hasn't in a while. So all that's left is the fifth of Jack Daniels and whatever Piglet leaves in the baggie. Whatever Piglet drops off when he's trying to cheer up Donkey. And then at the end of it, it's just when he realizes nothing ever gets better, no matter what he's done, no matter if he's had sex with the best woman that he's ever, the woman of his dreams. The woman who was his best friend before, but he fell in love. Eeyore fell in love finally. And when he gave up his body to the woman that he cared for most in this world, she treated it like it was nothing and still went on to be more successful. And Piglet came by one day, and Eeyore runs out of the back door right past him. And Piglet says, "No." And Eeyore jumps off the cliff. He jumps off the cliff and lands into the jagged rocks. And Piglet looks around and says, I think he's finally at peace. I think Eeyore has his tail for eternity now. And then the credits roll. Come on, guys. Come on. Nobody steal that goddamn idea. That's Winnie the Pooh. That's the Winnie the Pooh fucking movie, guys. It is. I mean, it's gotta be. Jesus. That's a clip. That's the clip. There you go. That's today's clip, Memorial Day. That's May 31st's clip. That'll be what comes out. But yeah, Winnie the Pooh, crazy. But here's the thing, guys, you don't understand. The main character of Pooh, right? They're villains now. I've always said there's a couple actors that are phenomenal as villains. Phenomenal villains, because they're literally, there's got to be a part in their brain that makes them a little crazy. And one of them is Kevin Spacey. And Kevin Spacey is playing Pooh in this movie. He was going to play Pooh. But it turns out that Kevin Spacey is going to be charged. UK prosecutors confirmed that they are charging Kevin Spacey with 4 sexual assault offenses. The 4 offenses allegedly took place against 3 men between 2005 and 2013. The men were 20 to 30 years younger than Spacey, who is now 42. Wow, so he was coming up on grown fucking 40-year-olds. He's now 62. Well, okay. All right, so they were fairly younger. So 62 in 2022. So 2005, what's that, 17 years? Right? 2022 minus, I'm sorry, guys. 17 years. 62 minus 17, 45. Okay, so he was, all right. I thought he was running up on, he's running up on like 25-year-olds, 35-year-olds, you know. Or no, did that say 20 to 30? Whoa, the men were 20 to 30 years younger. Wow, so 15 to 25. Okay, so that went from, weird to kind of normal to fucking really weird and bad and not normal, right? 15, you're Kevin Spacey and you're trying to bang 15-year-old boys. 17-year-old boys. I mean, Jesus Christ. 3 men between. But again, guys, I would think if you were to get fucked by Kevin Spacey, eventually you'd look and be like, who am I getting fucked by? Is it Kaiser Soze? Is it the one in Seven, right? Is it the murderer in Seven? Is it the guy from House of Cards? Is it the fucking guy from Glengarry Glen Ross, right? Do you think he uses that acting prowess? I bet he could have been a good Joker, right? If Joaquin Phoenix turned it down or couldn't do it, I bet he could have been a great Joker. Kevin Spacey. Crazy bastard. Kathy Bates, another good one. Another phenomenal crazy lady or crazy person. The guy from No Country for Old Men. That one. Sir Anthony Hopkins plays Sir Anthony Hopkins is the best. But anyway, Kevin Spacey. Spacey was first accused of sexual misconduct in 2017 when an actor said Spacey had made unwanted advances on him when he was 14. Wow. A wave of assault and misconduct allegations followed, including from 20 people who worked at a London theater where Spacey was an executive for 11 years. Wow, so he was fucking with people, 20 people. He was an executive there at the theater. Wow. So this is, again, another case of a... Well, see, I don't know, because I was gonna alert of the fact, like the Elon Musk thing, and this guy could be considered a genius in his field, right? Elon Musk is just a mega genius in general, but this guy is probably a genius in his field of acting and being a fucking sicko. Sorry, guys, there's a fucking... I guess the Indy 500 is going on outside of my house. Outside of my house. I do the podcast sometimes with the windows open. And right now it's kind of late. Not late, but, it's like 11:30. And there's people, you guys, it's me and the fucking, I have guests. This is the depraved fucking mongoloids that walk around New London, Connecticut. But this is just a guy who probably felt incredibly untouchable. And, felt that he could probably look himself in the mirror and say, hey, I got no problem squeezing some little boy ass. I got no problem with it because I can be any person I want ever. Right? I am an actor. I am one of the best actors ever. I can literally turn myself into anything. Into anything. Into any being. I could turn myself into a killer. I could turn myself into... Right? Don't you think an actor would be able to, over a sustained period of time, just convince themselves that they are the character, the person that they're playing? I wonder if that's a thing, if that's ever happened. Right? Where some person just was... there was Heath Ledger, right? Heath Ledger died from being the Joker because he did, sleep deprived, and I think he tried to go a little extra insane. I don't know if it was on purpose, but who gives a fuck, really? I wonder if there's... Oh, no. Jim Carrey. They made a documentary of the way he acted after he did the Andy Kaufman fucking thing. The Andy Kaufman movie where he was Andy Kaufman. But he went crazy. And they did a documentary on him going crazy because he turned into, Andy Kaufman. He turned into the motherfucker. So, yeah, I mean, that's probably a thing that goes through their minds, right? They don't write anything. They don't, the majority of them. Some of them go on to be directors and shit. But everything is, until you get to a really elite level of where you pretty much get the gist of the scene, a level that most people don't get to, but you really get the gist of the scene or the gist of the fucking, whatever the fuck's going on, and you can kind of, the director has faith in you. Until then, you're doing some shit a very specific way. There must be a level of, I don't know, I would think it'd be weird just acting. That's why Marlon Brando got away from it. Later on in life, he quit because he's like, acting is something we all do all the time, first of all. And when we do it, it's usually got a negative feel behind it. It's moments when we can't be ourselves, right? It's when the boss is around. You got to act like a decent, like you don't, smoke weed and take it in the ass on the weekends. That's right. No, but you gotta pretend that you fucking, you gotta act a certain way. When someone tells you some news that you don't really want to hear, but you're in front of a bunch of people, you gotta be like, oh, yeah, nice. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna rip your fucking head off once we have a second, Like, you gotta kind of act a certain way. So when you act in real life, it's an interesting fucking... That's why Marlon Brando, legend. You got to act in certain situations in life. And when you're doing that outside of being an actor as a profession, it's got a negative connotation to it for the most part. You're acting. You're a fake. You're an actor. Get the fuck out of here. You acting piece of shit. Why are you acting like that? Stop acting that way. Negative connotation. But I would think Kevin Spacey would just, if you didn't comply, he would just turn on that psycho act. What was that, Jonathan? You're not going to suck my balls in the stall of a Buca de Beppo? Really? Well, and then just scare the poor 17-year-old kid into putting both of Kevin Spacey's hairy balls in his mouth. Yeah, that's dark. That's dark. But here's the thing, guys. He was supposed to play Pooh in this movie. This crazy, not the one I came up with. The one I came up with, he will play in it. There's not going to be no suppose. He will. He's going to play Tigris. But he was supposed to play in this one. The villain. He would have been one of the villains, guys. He would have been one of the villains of... it was either... I would have had to say Pooh, right? You can't have Kevin Spacey in there as, one of the early post-Disney adaptations of Winnie the Pooh. You can't have him in there and not him be the star of the fucking thing. It's not something Leonardo DiCaprio's chomping at the bit to get into. It would have been a scene in this Winnie the Pooh if Kevin Spacey was in it. It would have been a scene where he fucks Christopher Robin. They finally grab him, and he gets to bang him. But the kid in real life is underage, and he didn't know that this was going to happen. But Kevin Spacey's far stronger than him, and the director trusted him. Just like I said, they trusted him. He trusted that he knows where to go with the scene, and Kevin Spacey, just bangs Christopher Robin. That was one of the parts of the movie. But a date hasn't been released yet, and now Kevin Spacey's being charged in the UK, for being a disgusting creep. But we'll see, guys. We'll see. I am very excited to see what Winnie the Pooh stuff is happening. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen with Winnie the Pooh. I mean, it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be turned like Shrek did, right? Shrek, after so many years, they turned Shrek into a fucking creepy fucking thing, right? He flies into your fucking house and he fucks you, right? And you're expected to, press up against him while he does it so you can help him. You can help him come. That's what Shrek is. For those of you that don't know, do some fucking digging on YouTube. Go down a deep, dark hole, eat, 600 milligrams of marijuana, and watch fucking these weird, disgusting Shrek videos. They're disgusting. They're not visually disgusting because they're fucking stupid animations, but it's just, it's so stupid and depraved and crazy if you've never watched them. That's what Winnie the Pooh is going to be next. I guarantee you there's going to be, scenes of Winnie the Pooh, whipping out a big veiny rod and just going to town. Going to town on, I don't know, there's probably a female character in that show that I'm forgetting about. Because he can't be depicted in the happy bear, the bear that's, yeah. So the only alternative is he's a fucking disgusting sex fiend, or he's, a murderer, or he's a maniac, a crazy person, he's a drug addict. A bunch of things. There's a bunch of things. It's just he can't be anything good now, right? He could be maybe an athlete, right? Like a tough athlete, one that sometimes says nice things, but for the most part, he's like the dad from Good Times. He's like a strong man. There's another good idea for you guys. Winnie the Pooh as a head of a family, a major patriarch. Winnie the Pooh. Every once in a while, just to discipline her, he backhands his wife and says, "Be gone, woman." But most of the time, he loves her. He doesn't do it in front of his kids. He gives them tough love. He loves them. In this one, Eeyore is actually a decent, he works in the building. I'm thinking exactly like Good Times. There's the guy that comes by who works in the area. I think you could do that. But Winnie the Pooh is going to get turned into a fucking beast of a person. But guys, I don't want to waste too much more of your time on Memorial Day. If you haven't already gotten on the beach, if you're not hammered by the time you're on the beach, if you weren't, because if you think about it, like I said, the ride, depending on where you live, I'm sure there's an area, some places longer than others, there's an area where you're going to sit in traffic all day or for a very long time. It's going to be hot. You're going to be fucking sweating in the car, packed with shit, packed with people. Like I said, it's not going to be nice, guys. It's not great, which is where some of you guys are right now as you're listening. But you, I hope you have a fun day. Yeah, I forgot where the fuck my point was even going. It's late. But, I hope you have a fun day. I hope you're hammered on the beach or soon to be. And as far as comedy goes, guys, we are right now for June, we're going to Broadway Comedy Club. Broadway Comedy Club, very big show, very fun time. Big show, for me, I guess. It's going to be a fun night. It is September. Saturday the 18th. Saturday the 18th. I think the show starts at 6:30. Let me triple check for you. Come on, damn it. Show starts at 6, so I don't know what time the doors open, but whatever. You can go to the Broadway Comedy Club and save $5. Use code Antonio, my fucking name. Again, that is Saturday, June 18th. I need some people to come. This is a great show for beginner comics. So if you're in the area, show up and watch it. If you don't have an idea what it is, it's called the Industry Room. You can research it, whatever. I don't know why I'm giving you guys all this information. I don't work for them. They don't work for me. But I'm trying to be nice. Yeah, so that's all I got in June right now. I am still waiting. June 1st is the deadline for the thing that I'm waiting to get accepted onto, which I haven't told you guys about. And I will tell you guys about once I know for sure whether I am or not going to be on the show or be a part of the thing. And yeah, so that's all I got, guys. Broadway, one more time, BroadwayComedyClub.com, June 18th show, 6 p.m., save $5, use Antonio for the promo code. Have a great Memorial Day. Have fun. I'll talk to you guys on Thursday. So long. Hey, I'm back to reiterate all the stuff that I said at the top of the show. Follow and subscribe. Bye-bye.